The chainsaw has come to become one of the most important tools to have if you are in the business of lumbering. It is a mechanical saw which is portable. It uses a set of teeth that are attached to a chain that rotates through a guiding bar. The origin of the chainsaw saw is not very clear. But there seems to be a consensus on where it originated. When was the chainsaw invented? The chainsaw was not initially intended for tree felling. However, it has evolved over the years. There are other forms of saws that were invented to make felling trees easier. A chainsaw is a tool that has a lot of history behind it. So, what was the original purpose of the chainsaw? In the past, the only way to deliver a baby was through the birth canal. That includes babies that were too big or in breech. There was no cesarean operation then. Doctors would use either a knife or a saw to deliver such babies. They will remove some of the mother's pelvic bones. This would help open the pelvic bone. This will help create a bigger space. That is how the baby can pass successively. This procedure was both very painful and time-consuming. At that time there was no anesthesia. The women had to endure the pain without any relief. This process was called symphysiotomy. Symphysiotomy is a process of removing some bone parts and cartilage. In 1780, two Scottish doctors sought for a solution. The names of the two doctors were James Jeffrey and John Aitken. They wanted to reduce the time and pain involved in child delivery. They went ahead to produce a tool that had a chain saw. It had the size of a kitchen knife. It was operated by using the hand crank to make the saw rotate. The rotating blade would be used to cut the bone. The small size of this tool made it easy to enter small spaces. It was faster and more precise than a knife or saw. Its success spread fast in the medical community. As a result, many doctors decided to adopt it. It became a tool of choice for bone cutting and removal. A few years later, a separate event happened. That was in Germany in the year 1830. A German by the name Bernhard Heine made a similar observation. He noticed that the tools for cutting bones were too crude. It made their work messy and tiresome. He decided to do something about it. He produced a bone-cutting tool called osteotome. It became a revolutionary surgical tool. The osteotome was handheld and the blade was long. This blade was used to guide a chain around it. This chain had very sharp teeth. The handle was connected to the sprocket wheel. This invention had nothing to do with the earlier one by the Scottish doctors. With time people noticed the ease with which it cuts bone. This gave them the idea that it can cut other materials. What is the oldest chainsaw made? The earliest known chainsaw that was patented was by Samuel Benz from San Francisco. He got it patented on the 17th of January 1905. He intended to use it for the felling of giant redwoods. But the problem is that the model he made then was very heavy and quite cumbersome. Most of the chainsaws of that age were very heavy and had to be pushed on wheels to get them mobile. But in 1918, a Canadian called Millwright J. Shand developed a more portable chainsaw and had it patented. His patent elapsed in 1930. However, he did not renew the patency. Consequently, another company from Germany called Festo copied his invention and developed it in 1933. But the company is now known as Festool. They are still in the production of portable power and electrical tools. Other people contributed to the expansion of the chainsaw. Such people as Andreas Still and Joseph B. Cox are names associated with the chainsaw. Andreas Still was the first person to patent a chainsaw powered by electricity. He also developed a chainsaw powered by gasoline in 1929. But with the commencement of World War II, the purchase of chainsaws from Germany was halted. All the above-mentioned chainsaw developers were from Germany. This led to the springing up of more chainsaw-making companies in North America. Among the oldest makers of the chainsaw in North America is Industrial Engineering Limited. They started making chainsaw in 1947. They later transformed into Pioneer Saws Limited. From there they became part of a new power tools manufacturing company called Outboard Marine Co., the oldest chainsaw manufacturers. The longest surviving manufacturer of the modern chainsaw in the world is Stihl. Their first chainsaw, an electro chainsaw, made its first appearance in the market in 1926. The founder of the company is Andreas Stihl. He is generally seen as the foremost inventor of the motorized and mobile chainsaw. Modern chainsaw. The modern chainsaw has had a lot of transformation. At the earlier times, the chainsaw was very heavy, weighing as much as 116 pounds. They could not be handled by one person and had to be wheeled around. But with the development of forged steels and aluminum, the chainsaw became lighter. Also, at the cost, it was almost impossible for an individual to afford the money to buy a chainsaw. It was mainly bought by lumbering firms and the military. But with the development of forged steels, the cost of production was drastically reduced. And as a result, the purchasing value dropped drastically also. As more manufacturers joined in the race of chainsaw manufacturing, the machine witnessed rapid development. Husqvarna joined the fold and launched its first chainsaw in 1959. This model was equipped with more modern features. One of the most notable features it came with was the noise reduction technology. They were able to achieve a 100% reduction in noise with the use of high-tech mufflers. Furthermore, in 1964 Stihl manufactured the first ever anti-vibration hand. It made use of buffer elements that absorbed the vibration that emanated from the engine and blade. Again, in 1980, it was the turn of Husqvarna to make another addition to the steady development of the chainsaw. They had a lot of concern for the safety of users of the machine. Therefore, they invented the automated chain breaker. This effectively upped the safety standard of chainsaws. This led to the drastic reduction of the number of injuries linked to the breaking of the chain. Since the advent of the chainsaw machine, lumbering has had a lot of improvement in safety, speed, and quality of cuts. During the pre-chainsaw era, the job of cutting down trees was a very tedious one. The major tool in use then was the axe. This is both risky and time-consuming. This was what led to the people in the business thinking of ways to overcome this obstacle. This led to the invention of the chainsaw. This huge milestone brought a huge turn around in the timber industry. However, it is a really big surprise to look at where the chainsaw originated from. It made a great leap from being a tool for bringing forth babies to the world. The chainsaw was transformed into the powerful wood-cutting machine that it is today. If you've enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button below. And hit the notification bell so you'll know once we post a new video. Also, drop a comment below so we can know your thoughts. Finally, don't forget to check the description below for more details. And visit our site, www.zimsaws.com for more awesome saw content like this.